And it seems like they never return the stolen property if they know if it's reported stolen and then they have a record of it, back to the owner. They just destroy it.
Or keep it.
If it's valuable. I don't know what happened to this one because it is valuable, I would think. Sammy Davis Jr. had a gun stolen, and apparently it turned up at this buyback. It was a 1911, 45,
wow.
1911.
Nice.
Probably was maybe kind of fancy. I don't know. Didn't get a lot of information from the story, whether it was a presentation type pistol that might have had his name engraved in it and all that stuff. I don't know if it was a standard 911, but it certainly wasn't turned back into his estate, I don't think. But
probably not.
Not a crime solved. All we have is merchandise recovered that's probably going to be crushed and stolen or put into some police officer's personal collection.
Well, but can you imagine how many lives are saved because that gun has been bought and back?
Well, wait a minute. It's a 45 caliber, right? It's 1911. So I'm thinking, carry the 3. Bring it down.
Well, they hold like 7 rounds or something.
I'm thinking probably 30 or 40 lives were probably saved.
At least.
Now, if it had been just a 38 or something like that, or a 380.
Yeah, or a hunting rifle, like a 30-06. Yeah,
30-06.
Those don't hurt people.
They don't kill anybody.
223 now, on the other hand, thousands.
That would have
thousands.
Probably 1,000 people easily.
I'm thinking 1,000. One of those fully automatic AR-15s, assault guns,
especially the ghost ones that you can't.
Oh man, can you sell those? Because I have a couple that I would like to turn in.
They just materialize,
and they give you ghost money. So there is a buyback
or Scooby snacks.
So locally, there's a buyback.
We've got a friend of ours. Friend of the show is putting on Facebook. It's called Detroit Gun Rescue, and he's inviting people to join him Saturday, June 11th, at 9 a.m. at the Mathis Community Center, which is at 19300 Greenfield Road, Detroit, where the police and the community center are holding a gun. I don't. What do you call it? Buyback? It's not really.
Purchase.
It's a gun purchase.
Yeah.
And in Michigan, it's not illegal for you to buy long guns from anybody with no background checks. You can offer them cash money instead of a gift card.
Yeah, even on the sidewalk or at the community center.
Right. You could do it on the sidewalk as long as you're not trespassing, but you could do it outside of the center. And offer people money for guns. Now, some of these guns are worthless. They're pieces of junk. They're rusted. They don't work. But some of them turn up. They can be pretty nice. It's Grandpa's antique, World War II classic.
Yeah, that people don't know what it is, or
M1 Garand or something that's worth $1,000. And they're turning in for $50. And if you have a concealed pistol license, of course, you can buy handguns from people and just fill out a form. So Saturday, June 11th, 9 a.m. at the Mathis Community Center in Detroit. Be there. We hope to have 100, 150 people there trying to buy guns before they get to the police.
That would be great.
So they're not the
Now, here's a question.
It's a gun rescue.
Here's a question. Do these police officers have CPLs?
Well, some do, some don't. But
probably most don't, I'd imagine.
Yeah, they exempt themselves from the law. They're police.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know the law that well. Is there an exemption for the government to buy the guns without the proper licensing?
I'm not aware of one. No, the question has been asked several times, and I don't know that it's ever been satisfactorily answered.
Well, I'm sure not. I mean, the government's doing it. Why would you ask?
We have another friend that did this in Detroit and was approached by a sheriff's commander, somebody under the sheriff but higher up, approached him and said, "Hey, what you're doing is illegal." And the guy says, "Come on, don't even tell me that. This, of course it's lawful to do this, and I can do this." And the guy's deputy just kind of turned away and walked away. But trying to intimidate him and tell him he can't do that, perfectly lawful. So. If you want to try to pick up maybe a Sammy Davis Jr., maybe you'll find something from something from the Purple Gang, from the mafiosos of the 30s and 40s in Detroit.
I doubt it.
So, anyways, we plugged that. What else do you want to talk about? We got a lot of stuff today. We never get through it all.
Yet every day you say, we don't have enough.
I know.
We're going to run out of stuff.
It's only because
what are we going to do?
It's only because I push us at the last minute to get a bunch of
That's
stuff
not
together.
true.
Yeah, I have to be on you like a ugly on an ape.
Yeah, because I don't know any talk show that has been successful without the amount of prep work that you put into this one.
Yeah, none are.
None.
Because we don't do any. You can bet your sweet Bippy that Rush Limbaugh has entire crews prepping his shows.
Ted Cruz?
What?
You think Ted Cruz does it for him?
No, I don't think Ted Cruz does. I think he has people that handle that.
He has people? I think his staff is smaller than you think.
Yeah, but I don't think he does as much as his staff does, and he does 3 hours every 5 days a week.
I know.
That would be tough.
That's what I'm saying.
So, yeah, he has people that prep. Now, he also has the gift of gab that we don't have.
Right.
We have lots of
Neither of us can
we
drone
have lots
on
of
and on and on about things that aren't interesting.
pauses and things. So, another dramatic pause. I want to shoot the studio dog because
don't do that.
it's really
Don't
driving
do
me
that.
nuts.
You're
All right,
not
so,
a cop.
So it's against the law for me to shoot a dog, but not for the police. Just like buying guns.
Oh, it's also against the law for them to do it.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, they can do it.
No, well, yeah, they can, and they do. Not all of them, I will say. Just a few bad apples.
All right. So apparently there was this flight from Philadelphia to Syracuse, New York.
Not a long flight.
No. Actually, the delay was way longer than the flight. It was 2 hours.
Oh, I can tell you a story about that.
Oh, okay.
About a delayed flight. So I had a flight into Lansing, right?
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. My flight was into Detroit with a 45-minute layover and then a short flight from 15-minute flight from Detroit to Lansing, right? We're going into Detroit. The weather's bad, so they divert us to Lansing.
Isn't that where you started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's where my final destination
Oh,
was, right?
You said just let me off
And
here.
I didn't have any checked luggage, so I'm like, I have my bag. And they're like, well, we're gonna pull up to a gate, so yeah, it'll be fine. I'm like, okay, cool. So we pull into Lansing, we pull up there. I wait a few minutes, then I go up and talk to the flight attendant, and they're like, oh, the ramp's broken. We can't let you off. I'm gonna ask and see if we can get some steps for you to get off. I'm like, because I can see my house.
Right.
And they're like, okay. Go back, sit, whatever. So I wait 10, 20 minutes. I go back. The pilot comes out and talks to me. He's like, no, we can't let you off. We were on the plane for an hour. I had to fly back to Detroit.
Good Lord.
And then run, because I only had, luckily my connecting flight was late also. Had to run, get on that, and then fly back to Lansing. So it took 3 hours to get to where I was. It was horrible. Horrible. But I asked them to just put down the little... the ramp, the floaty thing. I was going to slide down it, but...
You mean the escape?
Yeah, I guess you can't do
slide.
that. And when I pulled the emergency exit handle,
they hate that.
They didn't like that
They
either.
hate that.
They do.
That's when you grab 2 beers and you jump out and slide down.
Yeah.
Not good.
No.
Were you doing any kind of terrorist code in a notebook or anything?
You know what?
What?
If I would have, I would have got off the plane quicker.
A lot faster.
I should have done that.
Yeah.
Now I'll bring my algebra book.
Brooke?
Stop it. I'm not Rush Limbaugh.
No, that's Rush Limbaugh. Limburger. All right, so 2-hour delay after a woman expressed fear to the cabin crew that the man sitting next to her was a terrorist, scribbling some sort of terrorist code into a notebook.
Oh, man.
But in reality, he was a 40-year-old tenured professor at the University of Pennsylvania who was working on some differential equations.
Wow.
Now, Nate, you had differential equations and more.
Yeah, man. I did, and more.
And
yeah, horrible stuff. And you know what? Just the idea of differential equations pretty much is terrorism.
Yeah.
So she wasn't wrong.
She wasn't wrong.
It's a horrible thing.
But it's a different kind of terrorism.
It's a horrible thing. Horrible.
So the woman had raised suspicion about Guido Menzio, who has dark curly hair, olive skin, and an exotic foreign accent. Menzio is Italian, so I could see the suspicion. It seems that first the woman complained that she was sick, but when she got off, she said, "Ooh, there's somebody in there. I'm not comfortable." So security came on, intervened. They quickly determined, I don't know how they did that if it's TSA, because none of them have taken Diffie Q. I can tell you that right now. But they determined that, he was just an economics professor and doing a little calculating.
Okay, I'm wondering why an economics professor is doing differential equations.
Well,
I have $3. You have $2.
What's the difference? Let's do an equation.
Oh, that's what they mean by
yeah.
By the way, I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually the truth, how bad the media is. If they were like, he was solving differences, and they're like, oh, differential equations. I've heard of that.
Statistics.
No, I mean actually subtraction problems.
Yeah. This woman didn't recognize that
Did
either.
she seem very bright?
She doesn't to me.
Okay,
that's just based on this story. She never reported, no, I'm not going. So
I wouldn't either.
The guy says, I was treated respectfully throughout, but he says the whole thing serves to illustrate a broken system, not security system, a broken system in the whole country, where that anybody who's that dumb can cause.
So he went the other way.
Yeah,
with it.
that can cause a flight to be delayed for hours based on ignorance.
Oh, I think he's absolutely right about that.
That is sad.
Because here's the deal. What could he have been writing? Let's pretend he was writing in Arabic, right? Which is the terrorist language, right? I mean, that's what she was thinking.
If I was going to write terrorist code, it would be in Arabic.
No, right. I mean, I assume that's what she kind of thought it was, because he probably
of let's say Navajo.
He probably wrote sigma and lambda and things on there, and those letters are kind of like shapes.
And he had they kind of look like Arabic, right?
Yeah, right. That's my point. And so even if he was writing Arabic,
and there were lines and arrows,
that doesn't mean terrorist at all, right? I mean, that's ridiculous.
There's parentheses and
plus signs,
plus
minus
equals. There was a round thing that looked like kind of a swirly infinity sign.
Swirly infinity sign.
Scary.
Oh,
so, anyways, that woman's
no, that's horrible. Yeah, ridiculous.
Good thing he wasn't shot. All right, let's see.
The next time I fly, I'm going to be paying attention, though, to see if anyone's doing differential equations.
I'll guarantee you that the chances of you finding somebody
I'm going
on your flights that are doing Diffie Q. Oh, well, I don't know.
It is pretty low.
Well, if you go with some of your engineering friends, hell no, they're not going to do it.
No, nobody does them.
No, because
they're not useful.
Yeah, and if you need them, you can just put them in a computer program.
Yeah, they're really. There's
on the other hand, he might have been doing this just to relax. Some people do math problems.
He was an economics professor,
right? But I'm saying,
so I'm telling you,
what,
this was not part of his economics curriculum.
Yeah, it could have been a hobby.
Yeah,
he was a math geek.
Because economics isn't that complicated.
Oh, it's pretty complicated.
It isn't. It isn't complicated.
Ask Bernie Sanders.
It isn't complicated.
No, it is.
Well, he's saying should be even simpler than it is, right, Bernie?
That's because he has no concept of what it is.
All you have to do, but I bet he can do a differential equation.
Is you take money from people and you give it to other people that have less money, and they spend that money, and that helps the economy.
Exactly. You don't need a differential equation to understand that.
I got a conversation with
Bernie?
Someone about monopoly and equating it with socialism and saying, I don't care what you say, I'm a socialist and I love Marvin Gardens, which is, the lowest rent, cheapest property.
I don't understand.
Yeah, well, I mean, she was saying it wasn't a capitalist thing, it was socialist and all that. And
what? Monopoly?
Monopoly, the game Monopoly. I said, two things.
Well, it depends on if you have free parking or not.
The reason Monopoly is great is it's not socialism, it's capitalism. And the bad thing about Monopoly is that the bank never runs out of money because they can just print more.
Right, which isn't exactly capitalism, but
no, that's not.
It's realistic.
Yeah.
The other thing is that you
good
can.
Game.
The other thing that's realistic about Monopoly is that you can just end up in the wrong corner and be arrested.
Well, yeah.